Hello, my name is Julia Betancor. I am an art conservator based in Madrid, and I have been on the field like more than 30 years. My expertise is in contemporary art, so we're dealing with digital art, materials, organic materials, almost everything that you can imagine. Not you can imagine, the artist can imagine. And we are proud to be one of the best studios here in Spain and all over the world with our colleagues, and it's a privilege to be behind the scenes working and helping the artwork. Well, from my experience in United States, the people are more focused in an institutional way to work, even though in Europe or Spain we are more in the traditional way to understand how the conservation world works. So the biggest difference for me is while United States think in inversion, like conservation is like a adding value to your artworks or your legacy. In here, the legacy is more how you say artisanal, and instead of to take care of an artwork like to increase her value, is more like a legacy that you have to protect. It's more cool. It's a more cultural thing than a strategic thing as the American mentality. That's my point of view. Well, I began in Spain at the Complutense University in late 80s, and that was the period when you can begin with fine arts like art, paintings, and you work with different materials like sculpture, mural painting. So that background helps me a lot, not even though because I used to paint and drawing before becoming an art conservator, but because you have that background that it's important to really be a conservator in practice. And suddenly, while I was studying at the university, I discovered that there are people in the third floor working in all masters and other paintings, and I thought, oh my goodness, what these people are doing. And I discovered this conservation world. So I decided to leave my friends and colleagues, become famous and very good artists. And I will be, my decision was become the doctor behind the scenes. So take care of the artworks and even more in our Spanish or Hispanic American legacy who are really involved with. So to the people who never see an art conservator work, our movements are like a doctor field. So we go and we see our passion, and we begins to work with our eyes. Just when we are in front of the artwork, we are already working on that. So because we are not only looking for damages, we are looking for how is the technique, how is the creative mission of this painting or artwork or whatever it is. So we try to first view the painting, make like analysis and assessment, a diagnostic if we see any damage, or if we have to take care only as a prevention way. We work more in aspects who are more like um, humidity, temperature, how is the auxiliary support, things like that, just to take care of those arts. And then if we decide, and the client or the institution, museum or collectors decide that we need to put in practice our hands, we can go and work on that artwork, but only when it's absolutely necessary. Otherwise, in our field, we try to do the best, doing the less in that way. The most challenging conservation works are when you are without resources and you have to work in blind. So even though I am not going to say which institution are what I was working with, I have to remove one like rain painting from a very good artist without doing any analysis. So just jumping in the pool and try to do my best. So when there is not resources, it's like a miracle, and when you have to really uh, take your background and your sense of humility and common sense and then that sixth sense, and think that everything is going to be fine if you remove that repainting. So that is for me the scariest part of an art conservation treatment, most of them. And then when you are working in extreme temperatures and ambient conditions, that's really, really, really difficult, like in the Caribbean or Miami environment. That is super, super difficult. Funny things. Oh yeah, I don't know. Funny things is when you are in the middle of nowhere, like in the center of the in the chateau in France, or in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and you have to deal with the rain, the storms, and the sea salt, and you have to be working even though everything is against yourself and your team. So yeah, that is yeah, those, when you are working in a chart and your hands become cold because it's frozen inside, and you have to really move your fingers and it's impossible. So I think it's the environment when you, and it's really fun because it's like, what we are doing here, and just is because of love of what you are doing. So the funny thing is to see how it works in extreme areas in the world, or in authentic places that you never think that can be possible to do that. Well, I always say the same, but it's true. They remember us that we are six when everything is almost absolutely uh, impossible to recover. So it's not like when you have your painting or your sculpture or whatever totally damaged when we are six. We are here present since the beginning. So even for nowadays with the living artists, we are here to help them. So we are more like that part of that facility professional in order to help actually with things that they never think about that, like what kind of materials are you working with? Do you know that this is going to be alive in 2 or 3 years, or even more? When you are working with digital art, are you thinking about the obsolescence, how we are going to deal with this in the next year? So for an art conservator in the 21st century, everything is quite different. It's not only a cleaning of varnish or a repainting or something like, no, now it's super, super high speciality way to do the things, and more science than before, and transdisciplinary work, because we need registers, we need artwork, art handles, curators, artists. So we need the whole chain of the artwork to become a success project. Is the only way. And digital art is not only physically. I mean, you have maybe a pen drive, and your artwork is inside of that pen drive, and you can connect it in a computer or whatever, and you can enjoy your digital art. But in the future, that pen drive maybe cannot go inside of the plugin thing. So we are more in that way, not only the physical as well. You know how you try to conserve those materials who are like codes in a cloud, in another device, and how it's going to be from here to 2 months, 3 years, or 5 years. So I it's going to be viewed in a 4K TV, or can be this format view in another uh, 6K or whatever. So it's just to try to be honest with the moment. Things like the transition from one image to other one, that el tempo, the time of transition, you have to be careful with that as well. Not only with the pixels, with the cables, with the plugins, or even things like super easy, like to be connected in United States or in Europe. So there are many, many things in the background of the digital art. So, lo que me gustaría añadir es un deseo, es un sueño. Me encantaría que ocurrieran dos cosas en esta profesión. Una, que las mujeres, que somos realmente la gran mayoría, quienes hacemos este tipo de profesión, este tipo de servicios, seamos en algún día esas mujeres que puedan dirigir los distintos laboratorios y museos o instituciones y que realmente en la toma de decisiones podamos estar junto con los demás agentes del mercado del arte. Y la segunda, me encantaría también dejar aquí el testimonio de que es un trabajo de por vida. Cuando tú entras en una colección, entras en un museo, es mucho mejor cuanto más vas sabiendo de ello, porque es como si fuesen tus hijos, ¿no? Entonces, esta rueda que va al contrario de estar cambiando todos los años, evidentemente con una carencia económica y atendiendo a becarios para que cubran estos trabajos o servicios, es una realidad que me encantaría que acabe cuando dentro de 2 años o 3 años, que sea realmente un trabajo del cual la gente pueda sentirse orgullosa y pueda trabajar de manera orgánica y amable. No sé, es un pensamiento bonito.